Showcase. Hello, my name is Randy Rolfe, and I'm an independent Nikken consultant. And this is a product showcase. It's one of a series of live shows that independent consultants present each week. They're also recorded. And the idea is to give you an overview right from your own screen or phone for our products, our business, and details about the technologies, and also about the how to build a business and become a leader if you want to take advantage of the income opportunity with our products. So today's show is about the products, and I'm going to start with a little slideshow here. So I'm going to share my screen and go to this. And now you should be seeing a slide about Discover Active Wellness. And Nikken is the most comprehensive company about creating active wellness, vibrant health through natural living. And for 40 years, they've been researching how to support the body in its own healthy processes. And I see my guest is coming aboard. That's great. And I discovered Nikken 19 years ago this month, and it changed our lives. We were already as healthy as we thought we could get. I'd been studying nutrition since the 70s. We ate really well, and we were taking supplements already. But when I discovered Nikken, I found a whole nother dimension to natural health through restoring the body to natural energy fields. And I already knew about what electromagnetic pollution was doing to our brains and our bodies because I had heard testimony. I was a young lawyer helping farmers, and there's sort of a deja vu going on now because the Indians are getting together to fight a pipeline going through Dakotas. But anyhow, back then in the 70s, farmers and Indians had gotten together to fight an ultra-high voltage transmission line going across their land. And as young lawyers living up in the Adirondacks, we were helping them fight this. And we heard testimony about what the ultra-high voltage transmission lines were doing to people who live near those lines. We saw pictures of two-headed calves and 14-inch dandelions, and saw the charts of increased cancer for the schools that were closer to the lines that had already gone up in Canada. So, and we heard the testimony of Robert Becker, who's now considered the granddaddy of understanding what electromagnetic pollution is doing to us. So Nikken, at the same time in the 70s, was developing products that restore our body to the natural earth grounding magnetic energy that the earth gives out and all living things require. But we don't get them when we're surrounded by electric, concrete, asphalt, now Wi-Fi, and metal. It all distorts it and blocks some of that great energy. So everything in our bodies is energetic. So when we're depleted of that good natural energy, nothing works as well as it should. So many of our conditions that we're suffering from today, chronic conditions, are related to this. So getting back to the whole idea of active wellness, our wellness depends on the little decisions we make every day. After I left the practice of law, I became a family counselor because I thought, let's prevent problems, not go to the law courts except as a last resort, but rather prevent problems. And so that's when I was teaching families to make daily decisions in their lifestyle that would reduce stress and increase success and make relationships better, health better. So there's a compounding effect of all those dozens of little decisions we make. Do we take that third cookie? Do we have an extra scoop of ice cream? Do we walk from our car or try to park as close as possible to the shop? Do we breathe deeply, or do we let the stress keep us shallow breathing? All these little decisions add up. And humans being more is actually the motto of the company from the very beginning. It's about building people. Our products build people. And if we don't make the right lifestyle choices for us, then we are under stress and we are not living up to our potential. So what is the health context now that we're operating in as a top wellness company in the world? It's worse than it was 19 years ago. Stress is the silent killer. It's been shown to contribute in a major way to all of the chronic conditions that are killing us early: heart disease, diabetes, obesity, and liver disease, kidney disease, and also mental problems, depression, anxiety, seasonal affective disorder, and also the conditions that lower our quality of life without killing us, like fatigue, allergies, poor sleep, weight problems. All of these are directly related to stress, and stress builds up when we're not in nature. That's why we go to nature when we're on vacation. We know, but we don't have a way until Nikan to bring that into our daily life when we're not on vacation. 70% of people report sleep problems. And we know from science that one poor night's sleep suppresses the immune system 30 to 60%. And unless we get into the deep sleep, we're not getting that restorative process in our brain and our nervous system and our muscles and our memory. I went to a lecture one time at the University of Pennsylvania where they said, students, please get a good night's sleep before your exam, because all that cramming won't come out when you're in the exam room if you haven't laid down your memory the night before. She also said that there's no medication that puts you into the deep sleep. But the Earth's energy does. And if you've ever been camping, you know you get into a really deep sleep when you're sleeping right on the ground. Air and water pollution, it's worse than ever. 7 million premature deaths annually are attributed to air pollution by the World Health Organization. And we know indoor pollution can be worse than outdoor pollution in most American cities because people are closing in their houses to save money on air and on cooling and heating. And then all the chemicals that most people bring into their house concentrates. The other thing that concentrates is positive ions, which are not positive for the health. They're harmful, and it makes it harder for us to get the right oxygen into our lungs, and it causes breathing problems in sleep and that kind of thing. Water pollution, since Flint, Michigan, it's all over the headlines. Lead is in a lot of public water. Medications, endocrine interrupters, 24,000 different chemicals have been found in bottled water, in many tap waters. So situation is very serious. If, let's see, if you can mute yourselves, please do, if there's noise in your background. The health trends are a disaster for our children. We now believe that this is the first generation in American history that will not live to as long as their parents as far as their age, meaning that the predicted longevity appears to be going down because 1 out of every 5 adolescents is overweight and even obese. And they're not getting the nutrition they need, and they're getting heart disease and diabetes earlier and earlier. Less than half of adolescents are eating the right amount of vegetables. Low-income families, of course, have it way worse because of financial problems, lack of health availability, higher levels of stress, of course. Anxiety and depression are higher, and they're often in food deserts. There's no good fresh food to be had, and only 27% of high schoolers are getting the right amount of activity or the right kind of nutrition. So this is unacceptable in the wealthiest, most advanced civilization on the planet. And what can we do? What is the answer? It's about personal choice every day. Be healthy by choice, because I hope I've shown you that if you leave it by chance, it's not a good outcome. So we choose active wellness, which is the process where we become aware and make choices every day to have a more healthy, successful existence. This is where Nikken is an absolute leader. It's the most comprehensive approach to holistic natural health care in the world. And it's based on the idea that truly healthy life depends on 5 pillars: healthy mind, healthy body, healthy family, healthy society, and healthy finances. And if you think about it, if any one of those starts to get weak or out of balance, the others will suffer. If you have a bad attitude, you're working with negative people, you come home tired and stressed, it's hard on your body, it's hard on the family. If your health is failing, of course, everything's affected. If your relationships are failing because you're just not home or you're always stressed, then everything else is affected. If you hate your job and you're not doing something you feel is contributing, then other things will be affected. And of course, if your finances are weak, other things, it's hard to sustain all those other things. So I think it's a wonderful philosophy. And when I saw this, my husband and I, we fell in love with it, because when we left law, we'd kind of given up that high-powered, big income from big firm practice. But we gave it up because we wanted healthy mind, healthy body, healthy family. When we saw Nikken, this was a company that had a philosophy that you should have all 5, and all their decisions are made to allow everyone to increase the balance among those 5 elements. So Nikken, after a few years in business, developed the idea of the Nikken Wellness Home, because they addressed all these areas of health. They started with the magnetic earthing products, which are great for daily energy and sleep. Then they developed a water system, because hydration is so key to keep the energy moving and to keep us healthy. Then they developed a wonderful nutrition line. And as a nutritionist, I was so excited to see that they were at the cutting edge of nutrition, because we were already taking supplements, as I said, high quality supplements. And now we take everything Nikken Mix, because it is the finest on the market. And then they've developed an air technology, which gives out beneficial ions. And also, then the last technology they've added is a wonderful full spectrum light. And so here's a picture of the three major categories. The rest and relaxation is the core proprietary area of Nikken. If you're looking at this slide, you see the insoles. I have them in my shoes now. I don't put on shoes without insoles, because these magnetic insoles make you feel like you're walking outside in the park rather than on concrete. It gives you energy up through your body. Many people with feet problems, ankle problems, knee problems, hip problems, even attitude problems, these can help. Truly astonishing. And with just that product in the first 4 years, Nikken became the fastest startup in Nikken history, in Japanese history. The square you see is another fabulous daytime product. It's mainly for the back, the Kinko Flex, but it's flexible, magnetic, and like the insoles, it gives off the magnetic energy. Also the far infrared technology and ionic technology. So it gives that good negative ions and also gives that natural warming energy that the sun gives you on your cheek on a cold morning. It helps balance and alkalize the system and relax the tissues, so stress does not build up. That's the key. No more stress building up. Of course there's stress. We're busy modern people, but it doesn't build up if you have the good energy. The other thing you see is the sleep system. I sleep on a magnetic pad and have for 19 years. And Nikken's in its 4th generation of the absolute cutting edge sleeping surface. And the comforter is magnificent as well, has 4 different technologies, and the pillow also includes at least 3 different relaxation and de-stressing technologies. So you get into that deep sleep in a natural way, so you wake up truly refreshed. And I've had so many customers who went to bed, had pain, chronic discomfort, kept them tossing and turning, or they woke up without being refreshed, or they woke up in the middle of the night and couldn't get back to sleep. That can all change with that sleep system. The water, air, and light, I've mentioned them briefly. They are, the PiMag water is unique in the water field. It not only filters the water very fine, but it adds back that magnetic energy, far infrared energy, and special ions that make the water very agreeable to a living system. So that PiMag water is unique, and we have even a Cary bottle, so you don't have to pollute with throwing out plastic bottles. Shower system also has the Pi water, and I mentioned the light. The air is fantastic as well. Like I said, the nutrition is second to none. Whoever sent you to this video can give you the deeper technologies that go into this more, and I often put up things about our nutrition. The little box there is one of our many unique nutritional additions. It's a bone replenishment technology, an all-natural material that comes from mother's milk from organically raised cows. But what it does is it rebuilds the bone just like happens in a 1 or 2 year old's body. It's completely natural, so there are no side effects. It's phenomenal. The little jars you see there are exotic fruit drink that helps all the central body systems, very high in antioxidants and no additives. And you'll see that in all our nutritionals. There's no added fillers and preservatives and colorings and flavorings and junk that's just chemicals your body has to deal with. Our skincare is also second to none, but I want to move along. So I want to talk with Yitzhak. Sorry, I think I got your first name right, but now I'm blanking on your second name. So hi.
Cary Glickstein.
Welcome. You're unmuted. So let me close my sharing here so we can see Yitzhak. Is that the right pronunciation? I'm sorry.
You can use the English pronunciation, Cary. It's okay, Randy.
Okay. You look great.
Nice to see you again.
So grateful you could be on this call. Cary is my sponsor in Nikken, so it's an honor to have him here to share his personal story with Nikken Technologies. He's in Israel, so thank you. It's evening over there, and I'm still in my morning here in Pennsylvania. So appreciate you joining us, Cary. So can you share how you got interested in the Nikken products and technologies, and just tell your story, if you would.
Okay, well, thanks for having me on the call. It's always a pleasure to spend time with you, Randy, even though we don't get to see each other a whole lot so much unless it's by video. And hi to everybody on the call. Yeah, I was introduced to Nikken a little over 20 years ago, actually be 21 years this month, by none other than famous distributor, Julie Dara. And Julie and I have a background in alternative health. And it was through that connection that she had approached me through her family. And I became interested because at the time I was looking to do something different in my life in terms of business. But I was committed to only doing something that was about health. It was about making a difference in the world. Because I had left the business world a few years prior to that. I had been in real estate. I was a stockbroker. And I realized there was something more to life in terms of work than just only making money. And my passion had been around health. And so when I was approached, I heard about the extraordinary technologies that Nikken had that were completely unheard of back 21 years ago, at least to most of us. I thought, you know what, it's worth checking it out. So like most people, I did my due diligence, tried the products, investigated the company, had numerous conversations with Julie and some other people in the company, and decided to jump in with both feet. invested a few dollars, bought some products for me. At the time I was single. Of course, nowadays it's many years later, I have a family, and they all use all of the products, as do I, and would certainly never be without them.
Very cool. So when you got some product, what was the first thing that just you said, "Wow, this really is everything they say"?
Well, I have to tell you, I can't give you the same wow that many other people have had, because at the time I was fairly young and in pretty good shape, or so I thought. But what I noticed was that when I slept on the sleep system, my sleep shifted. At the time, I remember that I hadn't remembered dreams for quite a long time. But when I started to sleep on the sleep system, all of a sudden I was remembering my dreams. And although that's very simple and maybe very minor, all it said to me was that these products are doing something, that they work. And of course, since that time, I've seen hundreds, if not thousands of people indirectly have extraordinary results with the products, both for themselves, with their family. And I've seen people's lives touched in ways where they were told they had no hope. They would have to live with pain, that, they were given all sorts of, bad ideas from the doctor. And they were just told that, you know what, there just is no hope, and you're just going to have to learn to live with it or take drugs forever. And I've seen those same people have complete life transformations. And for me, that gives me reason to stay in the business forever, to help people forever with the products, because there are not too many opportunities where we have a chance to make a difference in people's lives like we do with the Nikken products. And for me, I just find that very gratifying.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm like you. I didn't expect any big changes, but because we'd done everything right that I knew of, except that the whole energy aspect that Nikken has. And same thing for me. I sleeping on the sleep system. I swim every morning, and I said to my husband, I just didn't get tired. I didn't get tired. I just finished my 40 lengths and thought, well, I could do another 40 and so I said, was there a strange rain last night or what? And he said, I think it's that magnetic mattress. And for him, changed his life, because he had asthma as a child, and he always breathed through his mouth at night. And one morning he woke up off the Nikken sleep system with his mouth closed, and from then on, he never got colds anymore. He was quiet in bed, and he could breathe through his nose. So you never know what's going to get better. And like you see so many people who have been told that there's nothing, and then they find Nikken and things get better. Can you share, Cary, let me ask you why all your dear children, why you use the products for them too.
Well, if you've been around for a while, or anybody's been a Nikken distributor for a while, we don't have to answer that question, but just in case anybody new should hear, what we're talking about today. Of course, look, who do we care about the most in our lives other than our family and the people that are close to us? Yeah. And of course, the world. And in an ideal situation, the whole world would be using our products. They'd be sleeping on sleep systems. They'd be using the insoles. They'd be drinking our water, taking our nutritionals. So of course, the people closest to us, we want them to have that same benefit. So I could tell you many, many stories over the years where my kids and my wife and I have all gotten great benefits of products. But, one thing I'll just tell you, just because it's, kind of a little interesting, usually kids don't like to eat healthy food. And I have to admit, my kids are like that as well to some degree. And it's not so much because of our family, but because of the culture and the fast world we're living in, and, being young kids in school, seeing peers that all they do is have sugar. But when my kids come home from school, or even in the morning, they'll often say to me, and they'll often ask, can I have some green zymes? Can I have the barley grass juice? But it's so good that we do something a little different. We don't take the barley grass powder and put it in a glass of water and stir it and drink it. They'll take water into their mouth. I'll give them a spoon of the green zymes. I'll just put it right into their mouth, and they'll just take it right off the spoon and swallow it, and they're done. That's how much they love it. They know it makes them feel good. They know they like it. They don't know what it does. They just know they feel good when they have it. They know they're being healthy. And it's a great way to get green vegetables. If they haven't had a meal that day and they're a little hungry for a snack, I'll give them our meal replacement drink, and they'll love it because it tastes good and it satisfies them. And, you know, they're kids and they're intuitive. They just know that it's good for them. And so, again, we can go on and on with stories. They'll bump their head. They'll run up to my office and they'll say, Abba, which is the Hebrew word for father, you know, can I have a magnet? You know, can I have a magnet for this, you know, bump or that bump? And they just know to ask for the products because they're kids, and you can't convince them that something works. You can't convince them to do anything sometimes, as we all know. But when something works, they don't have to be convinced. They'll just ask, and they're happy to use it. And you know, that's the experience with children and the products.
Oh, that's great. Thank you for sharing that, because that's one of my favorite things is the whole prevention aspect and getting kids into good habits from the start, and knowing that all they need to do is give the body what it needs, and it'll take care of itself. So that's lovely. I love the spoon of green time. So they're just eating it like a vegetable, eating it back well instead of mixing it in the water.
You don't have to waste. You have to worry about the waste. You know, the green time's getting stuck along the side of the glass, goes right into the mouth, right off the spoon, and you're finished.
Right. Yeah, that's a wonderful story. And of course, our Vital Balance. There are many powders out there, but this is so unique because it nourishes the brain as well as the body and really keeps things balanced. People don't get cravings. And that's one of the biggest problems for kids is craving sugar, and they see it all around 24/7. And but when their brain is properly fed, it's not a temptation as much. It's wonderful. So can you just have another couple minutes? Can you share just one of the many stories you've seen over your 20 years, Cary, with a customer or a dear one?
Well, you know, an old friend of mine, he should rest in peace, Stanley Walker, the
Oh,
husband of
yeah.
Geraldine Walker from Philadelphia. I remember once Stanley and Geraldine were in one of our meetings, and you may have been there as well, Randy, I don't know. But in any event, they had a friend come by because they wanted to experience the Nikan products. And this man worked for the Department of Transportation during the day. But in the evening, he was a preacher, and I guess on the weekends. And so he came in and he told us that he had diabetes and he had numb feet. So Stanley, you know, rest his soul, he took out his insoles that were in his shoes and gave them right to the man. The man slipped them into his shoes. And this man had had numb feet for about 25 years. And, you know, we went through our presentation. Within 30 minutes or so, he raised his hand. He was a complete shock and bewilderment and happiness. And all of a sudden, he fell at his feet again. And that, you know, even though it's very simple, it's incredible because a lot of people with diabetes, unfortunately, many of them, end up developing diabetic or peripheral neuropathy. They end up getting numb feet. They don't notice that they get a sore. The sore becomes infected, and there are about 100,000 amputations of either toes or feet every year in North America alone. So with our little, you know, $50 or $57 product, someone could slip the magnetic insoles in their shoes, and in over 70% of the cases, according to double-blind studies, they regain feeling back in their feet. I think that's just an incredible thing, and it's a wonderful gift that every single one of us could give to someone out there who does not know about our products. And unfortunately, or fortunately for us in business, most people don't. And, you know, I look forward to the day when everybody does know about our products and all these people will be able to walk around and won't have to worry about losing toes or feet because of the diabetes they have, which they can hopefully prevent by taking our nutritionals and getting some exercise and using all our products anyway.
Awesome. Well, that's a great story to end our product showcase here today. And one of my missions is to help end chronic illness in our lifetime with education, with sharing, with people getting their wellness home started. They can do that. So thanks, Cary Glickstein, so much for being on the product showcase today. And I'm just going to end with a little slide here, but have a wonderful evening in Israel, and give my best to Renee and all your beautiful kids. And thanks again. It's great seeing you.
Thanks, Randy. Always great to see you. Thanks.
Sure. So I'm going to go back to the closing slide here. And So our recommendation is to become a customer. Start somewhere. Get the insoles. That was the very first product, and it'll make a difference. Get a necklace. This is one of Niken's newest little necklaces. It's magnetic, but beautiful crystal. No one knows it's a health product. Earrings, bracelets, or start with a whole wellness home. It costs less than fixing your kitchen cabinets. Or get a back flex, a mag flex. Start somewhere. Get a water system. That will change your life right there. So thank you for joining us for our product showcase today. And this is Randy Rolfe, independent distributor. This is not a corporate presentation, but independent. And get back with the person who sent you to this video and find out when the others are going to be on, or get the link for the recordings and learn more, because Niken is an amazing discovery and we need to reach more people with it. So thank you all for joining. I appreciate it and have a great day. I'm going to stop our recording now.